You know, in Britain, you can drive across whole counties in just an afternoon. But what's truly incredible is when a single, tiny patch of land holds thousands of years of human history. A story that's written not in books, but right into the landscape itself. And that's exactly what we're going to dig into today.
So, think of this as a journey through time, not just across a map. We're going to explore 3 places that might seem totally separate, but are actually part of one incredible story. A prehistoric monument, a deserted fortress, and a magnificent cathedral.
And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? This whole idea of history being written in stone and soil. It tells us that history isn't something dusty and remote. It's a visible, tangible thing that's still all around us.
So here's how we're going to frame this. It's one epic story told in 3 distinct chapters. And believe me, these are not just separate tourist spots. Nope, they are one single unfolding narrative about belief, about power, and about renewal, all happening within just a few miles of each other.
All right, let's dive into Chapter 1. We're heading out onto the windswept Salisbury Plain to a monument that has absolutely captivated the human imagination for millennia. Of course, I'm talking about Stonehenge. I mean, just look at it. For nearly 5,000 years, these stones have just stood here. A place of ceremony, of endurance. They were put here by people who left no books, no records. We'll never know their names, but my goodness, their vision still shapes the horizon today. It's a place that just pulls you in with its deep, profound mystery. And here's the thing that just blows my mind. Stonehenge wasn't built in a weekend. This was a 1,500-year project. That is just staggering. It started way back around 3100 BC, and not with stones, but with a huge circular ditch in the earth. 1,000 years later, the smaller bluestones show up, dragged over 150 miles from Wales. And then come the big guys, the colossal sarsen stones, some weighing 50 tons, that create that iconic silhouette we all know. Which, of course, brings us to the biggest question of all. With all that mind-boggling effort, spanning countless generations, why? I mean, what was it all for? And the honest answer is, there is no single simple answer. Was it a gathering place for ancient rituals? A burial ground for the elite? A kind of celestial clock perfectly aligned with the solstices? Or maybe even a place people went for healing? The most likely answer is that it was probably all of these things, just at different times. Its purpose almost certainly changed over the centuries, reflecting the beliefs of the people who held it sacred.
Okay, now we're going to hit the fast-forward button. We're jumping from deep prehistoric mystery to a very real, very human story of power, strategy, and conflict. And it's all centered on one imposing hill, Old Sarum.
Just a couple of miles from modern Salisbury, this great grassy mound just rises up out of the valley. And this place, it's like a history layer cake. It started as an Iron Age fort, then it became a key Roman town, and eventually it was crowned by a mighty Norman castle and the very first cathedral.
You can literally see the layers of history here. Around 400 BC, they carved out these massive defensive ditches. Then the Romans rolled in and said, yep, this spot's perfect. And then, after the Norman conquest in 1066, the Normans built a massive castle and the first Salisbury Cathedral right on top, cementing their power. But, like all great strongholds, its time eventually ran out.
And this is where real human drama played out. I mean, just imagine this. One of medieval Europe's most powerful and famous women, Eleanor of Aquitaine, was basically imprisoned right here, within these walls, looking out over this very same landscape. It's a powerful reminder that history isn't just about battles and buildings. It's deeply personal. But the story of Old Sarum doesn't just end with abandonment. Oh no, it's actually a story of rebirth. And that brings us to our third and final chapter. The tale of ambition, faith, and the incredible decision to move an entire community downhill to build a new city and one of the most beautiful cathedrals in the world. This contrast says it all, doesn't it? On the one side, you have the windswept, grassy outlines of that first cathedral up at Old Sarum. On the other, you have the graceful, light-filled masterpiece that they built in the valley below. It was an incredibly bold and visionary move. So you have to ask, why would they make such a drastic move? Well, life on that hilltop was tough. It was exposed to the wind. Water was hard to come by, and there was constant fighting between the soldiers in the castle and the clergy in the cathedral. The valley below offered a total reset, shelter, plenty of water, and open ground to build a brand new city, one centered not on defense, but on faith. And what they managed to achieve was astonishing. The new Salisbury Cathedral was built in just 38 years. Now, for the medieval era, that is lightning fast. And because it was built so quickly, it has this incredibly pure, unified architectural style. It's like the textbook example of early English Gothic.
And of course, you can't talk about Salisbury without talking about its most famous feature. Added in the 14th century, the spire is an absolute marvel of engineering that you can see for miles and miles around.
It clocks in at 404 feet, and to this day, it's still the tallest church spire in all of England. Just try to imagine being a medieval traveler, crossing the plains and seeing this beacon of faith and community rising up in the distance. It must have been truly awe-inspiring.
And inside, the cathedral holds treasures that connect us directly to huge moments in world history. It has one of only 4 original copies of the 1215 Magna Carta, the foundation of modern law. It also has the world's oldest working mechanical clock, ticking away since 1386. This place isn't just a building, it's a living museum.
So, let's bring our 3 chapters back together. Stonehenge, Old Sarum, Salisbury. As you can see now, they aren't just points on a map. They are layers of time, all visible on the landscape.
And when you lay it all out like this, the whole narrative just clicks into place, right? Stonehenge represents prehistoric ritual and mystery. Old Sarum stands for defense and raw authority, from the Iron Age all the way to the Normans. And Salisbury embodies medieval faith and the birth of a brand new kind of community. 3 distinct ages, all part of one continuous story. And that really is the key takeaway. The extraordinary density of history right here is what makes it so special. In a single day, within just a few miles, you can literally walk through almost 5,000 years of the human story.
You know, it's a great reminder of a simple truth. History isn't just a fixed collection of dates and facts. It's a story that deepens and becomes so much more meaningful the more we explore its layers.
The story of these 3 sites is written in the stone and the soil. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If this one small patch of England holds a 5,000-year story, what incredible stories, what hidden layers of history are just waiting to be discovered right outside your own window?